record this and then we can, cool. All right, so we're going to invite Amelia to maybe share her screen and take us through the SMS platform that we're all kind of familiar with it. Can everybody put their thumbs up if they're familiar with the SMS platform? I can't see anybody, so.
I'm not sure if Manal is also.
Yep, hi.
Yeah.
Thumbs up here, cool.
I just finished my night shift and not looking so cute, but that's okay.
Thank you. So what we'll do now is that we'll hand the time over to you, Amelia, and maybe you can take us through the platform and maybe look at things and share with us some tricks and tips within that platform.
Yeah, definitely. Before I start as well, I guess, is there anything in particular that you guys want me to focus on? I mean, I could spend 2 hours taking you through all the features and functionality of the system, but it's more if there's something particular that maybe your clients are asking for or that you guys are curious to see if can be achieved. I can spend a little bit more time on maybe some of those elements. Because if you guys have played around with it, it is a self-service platform, and we try to make it as simple as possible, but there are some automations and nitty-gritties that we could probably spend a bit more time on. So is there anything else that you guys would like me to focus on at this point?
So guys, if Amelia is speaking a bit fast, I get it. I get her really easily because, you know, I'm English, but if she's speaking a bit fast, don't hesitate just to say, hey, listen, what does that mean?
I don't have anything in particular.
Yeah, let me know to slow down. So thanks for that, Steve. I do tend to talk quite quickly.
Yeah, that's okay.
For me, I'm wondering about the invoice. Yeah, the current ones, when I click on send the invoice to the customer, it will be like a text version.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. I'll take you through that. I'll spend a little bit more time in the billing section on that to take you through it, but you're correct. There is, yeah, the email version is very, very text-based. It's not a pretty PDF, but I'll take you through that and what we would typically do for our clients as well.
Okay.
As well.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. So just make sure that my screen, cool. So we've got two main structures in our account, in our platform. We've got our reseller, which is what Local For You is currently set up as, and then you've got your individual client accounts. So obviously this is sort of like your main admin one, which I believe you guys all have access to. Yep, fabulous. So basically from this account, you can navigate to any of the clients that you need. You've also got a really nice summary as to you know, how much credit have people got in their accounts, who's sending the most, things like that. So the order of the accounts is from last created. So the newest account will be Samsung Station. And you can see they've got a 2.7 cent margin on each SMS. And if you want to, for example, figure out who sent the most, just simply press, oops. Forgive me for 1 second, guys. That my system has locked me into another account. Sorry, guys.
It always happens.
Okay. I just do a quick refresh. Oh, beautiful. Sorry about that. So if you want to find out who's sending the most or who recently sent as well, I'm sure that you guys are very aware of it, but if you can sort of toggle from a couple of these options here. So that's some nice, decent volumes coming out of this account, which is great. To navigate to each, this, like, you can change these settings individually. So for example, if I wanted to head to the settings of this account, you've got all their details here. You can change their minimum or daily top up, which basically means if you're concerned about the account and you want them to only top up $200 and nothing more, go ahead and do that. Or they keep doing $20 and you want them to top up at least a minimum of 100, then you can go ahead and edit that there too for you guys. So that basically in this add credit section, I just go here, that's going to just determine like the maximum options that they'll have. It seems like they haven't got.
Can I ask a question while we're on that, Amelia, to the team? Do you guys use that option? Like when you've got the customer in front of you and you're explaining that, how do you tell them how much do you want to top up? How do you explain that to them?
Yeah, I guess it's I mean, we use we use a minimum top up amount to encourage them to have enough credit on their account for more sends. So if they're topping up $20 for one particular send and then they want to do a campaign, you have to go and double check with them again. Hey, can I charge a credit card? So if I put them a minimum spend of $100, you've kind of guaranteed yourself, depending on the size of the business, at least money enough for 2 campaigns. So you know that you can act quite quickly when the time comes, because some people do get quite funny when they see a lot of transactions go through their account and they're not aware that maybe you're processing that transaction. It also affects, we've got in the billing section of each account, we've got auto recharge. So that means, for example, by default, it's set at $0. So when your account reaches $0, it will automatically top up your nominated recharge amount. So sometimes, again, we might put the minimum top up amount as 100. So they have to select $100 every time it gets to that $0. So again, just making sure there's always some money in that account, especially for you guys when you're trying to work with them quickly and probably process a lot of accounts on a Friday night, trying to send campaigns, and you don't want to keep having to check with them. Can I charge your account? Can I charge your account? So this is the option down here. So if I wanted to, let's just say, for example, you can see the recharge threshold here is $0. We can only adjust this from our end, but you can actually see here, even if you apply for an increase as well, it'll go through to our ticketing system and we can action it quite quickly. We'll only probably forward them on to promotions at local for you to confirm, like, hey, Steve, Green Hill would like to increase their threshold to $50, and we'll check that with you. But that basically means when you hit this threshold amount here, it will automatically top up this nominated value here. So you don't have to worry. You can probably just let your clients know, hey, we're going to change it to $100 automatic top up. So as you send, you never really have to do any finances with them. That $100 will just come out when it's needed.
Does anybody in the team use that function? Auto charge, auto top up? Anybody using that? Peter?
No.
Manal, San, are you using that?
No, but actually John suggests us to do the auto credit recharge, but we didn't do that.
Yeah. So it seems like an easy way. If you do, you don't have to go back to them and get them to top up all the time. Yeah,
because as soon as you say, they might have $2 in their account and they're like, yep, I want this campaign, here's my $2,000 contact list. As soon as you just send it, it will automatically go, okay, cool, $100. If it needs more, I'll do it twice, kind of thing. So as long as all I recommend is on your clients, like on your clients' credit card statements, they'll see transmit SMS and obviously not local for you. That's the only thing I would just communicate when you are, like, especially a new client. I would always say, hey, I'm going to charge your credit card. We're going to do auto top up from now on when it gets to $0. On your bank statement, it will say transmit SMS. So it just makes sense.
That's important to know, guys. Just in case your customers come back to you and say, hey, I've been charged from Transit SMS, you know that it's the SMS platform that we're using. Yeah. Has anybody had that? Has any of you guys had that? No? Have any of you had your customers come back and say, what's this charge? You have?
Yeah, now what Thai restaurant, like, she didn't know what it is, and she just went to the bank and say, like, block this account, block them from charging us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the problem is now resolved. She's fine.
Okay.
Now. She understands now.
All right. Okay.
And if and from that,
Go
I guess
ahead.
like our financial gateway as well. So if you're like, we have clients, especially new clients, who they'll put the $100 transaction through and then they'll go, oh my gosh, I don't know what this is. I need that money back. And the bank will send us what we call a chargeback. And our chargeback costs us $25 per transaction. And it also reduces our gateway percentages. So it can really heavily impact our business if, for example, someone's done 10 transactions, they're not aware and they charge more back. So in terms of, Steve, for you as well, we don't absorb the cost of the chargebacks. If your clients do that, then we pass on those $25 fees onto you guys. So it's really important that you communicate to them that this is us. Do not charge back your credit card, because 25 times 10 is $250 just purely on fees, let alone the money that's been lost of like 20 times 100. So you can.
So is there any way of putting local for you on that charge?
There's not, because it is connected to our SMS gateway, which is obviously shared between a whole lot of other businesses. So transmit SMS is for example, if you look up here on the account, you can see it. It's local for you at Transmit SMS. We can't brand the gateway, unfortunately.
The challenge is though is that our restaurant partners don't go into this back end, so they don't see this.
Yeah, look, as long as you guys, I think, are communicating it. And because I'll show you, since we're sort of going through financials, I'll go into the invoices now. Let's go check out someone who sent a couple, Thai Flame. So in the back end as well, if they're ever querying their transactions, I'm sure you guys are aware, you've got a couple of different ones. So when they add credit, they can easily do a manual top up. So that's when they physically go to the add credit button, select what they want to top up at that time. We call those a credit top up. If we've set that automatic recharge, you'll see an automatic recharge transaction as well. So those are split up in the system. If you're ever wondering, oh, I can't see those other two transactions, it's because there's a couple of different variations in there. So I'll just go and find one of the top ups. So you can see down here as well, we try, obviously it's quite a big issue with our clients. We try to very clearly identify that the transmitsms.com is going to be on the invoices. I know, as you said, these come via email in a very sort of ugly format. What I would typically do for my clients, if they wanted to know it, I don't know if you guys, what operating systems do you run your computers off? Have you got Windows or have you got Macs?
I got Macs.
Macs. Okay. So I think if you've got the quick snip tool, not quick snip, screen grab tool, which is like Control-Shift 4 or 3, or what is it?
It's
4 and 5.
4 or 5, yeah. Okay. So what I would typically do for mine, I'm on a Windows currently. What I would typically do is just grab my snipping tool and just take a screenshot of just this nice branding down here, and that kind of save it as an image or a PDF, like save it as an image, and then I would just send that over to my clients. It's a lot nicer than the automatic one, which is purely just text. But at least here you've got your branding. Again, you've got this in color, the highlighting one, whereas obviously in the email, I don't believe there's any color. And it also has all of local for use bank details. They will never see what Transmit SMS is. They'll just know that it's going to come under that transaction.
Yeah, that's cool. I think what Amelia is really saying here, guys, is that it's really important that we just let them know, even if it's once, because once they know it's Transmit SMS, they won't worry, but that we let them know that this is who the charge will come from.
Yeah, maybe just for the first time when you're managing the client, they're doing their first send, maybe take this screenshot, highlight to them the Transmit SMS, and then I think forward on, they should be really easy to manage, but just a nice indication for them. Yeah, so that is the billing. And of course, you've got the option to send it to multiple people or automatically go to the account owner. So you can check the account owner as well, which will be this email address. So automatically, most of the notifications go here, but you can send it to maybe their accounts team just by going into the billing and selecting that email option. But yes, so that's kind of the billing side of things. Does anyone have any further questions regarding that sort of auto recharge, where the transaction is going to come from, that kind of stuff?
So both recharge and manual charge, do customer like get the invoice or get the notification automatically, or we have to to notify them again? Like
no, yeah, as soon as the transaction is made on the account of the credit card, we generate that invoice, and that invoice immediately gets emailed in that text format. Yeah, so that's automatic to the email. So to that email owner address connected to the account.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just in case, like that, like I said, that first initial one, you can take a screenshot and save just to clarify. But yeah, automatic.
So when we go to the billing, like previous page, and when we click send invoice, so it just resend.
Yeah, it'll resend.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So it's usually, we'll use that when they're like, hey, I've lost that invoice or I've accidentally deleted that email. Can you resend it to me? Jump back in, find the right invoice, and then re-trigger that for them if they need it. Anything else before I move on? Nope. Cool. Okay, so I might just jump into the messaging side of things. Is this? Oh yeah, cool. This is the main one. This is your activity page. If you ever, I think majority of your clients, they prefer to use the set, like what we call alphanumerics. You like to put a name on the SMSs, is that correct? So if I was to, for example, they want that to come up instead of a number.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that a preference for everyone, or it's just something that you guys sort of started doing? I guess, did any of your clients ever ask about replies?
You mean reply to the message?
Yeah.
Right? They didn't ask, but we like to inform them that the reply will like get to us, and I will inform her again that okay, this customer reply like this, what would and let her reply to that customer.
Yeah, okay. I guess there's with that, there's a couple of variations. So we call this section up here, so what the message comes from, we call this a sender ID. So you can see here the from number or the sender ID. So we've got a couple of options. This particular one where you're having a combination of letters or numbers, we call these alphanumerics. And alphanumerics, basically, they look great. It's really easy to identify a brand because you can do like Green Hills tie. So it's great. As soon as they receive the message, they know it's Green Hills tie. The problem with these messages, though, is that you can't respond to them. So if you try to respond to this, it won't work. You'll get a notification that says it's undelivered on your phone. It'll keep happening undelivered because it basically you're not responding to a mobile number. So our system doesn't get that response back. So any messages, whilst this is great, sent from what we call this alphanumeric will not come back to the system.
Yep.
This is actually.
So are you saying then, Amelia, there's really no point for us to put the reply?
Yeah, correct.
Info.
Yeah, any reply options here. There is one caveat for this. This unsubscribe link has an option to reply via HTTPS, which basically means you're not delivering the message via SMS, you're submitting it on a web form and we get that back into the system. So I recommend try this out next time you guys are available. Send yourself, actually you guys won't be able to receive it, will you? Steve, I'll send myself a sample and I'll send screenshots to your team, but basically there's a opt-out button and a reply button included in here. You can see unsub reply link. You might get some responses via that reply option in the unsubscribe link. We don't recommend using it as a reply option because obviously the opt-out button and the reply button are very close together and people often accidentally opt out when they're trying to submit their reply. But if you ever do see some responses coming back, it's because they've done it through this link. Look, the benefit of using this particular sender ID is because your clients are very time poor. They're not going to sit around their platform looking for the inbound responses and then going through and responding to them. So that's why I actually think this is very, very popular in your industry because you send it out, you've got a link for them to order. You've put your mobile, like the location store on it. So it's actually really, really effective. If a client does want responses to come back through for some reason, maybe they're running a competition and they need to respond back with their receipt number or something like that, you will need to get either a dedicated number, which means it's one number specific for that store. These have a cost. Steve, these are the dedicated virtual numbers where we can add margins onto them as well. So that's another potential inflow.
So tell us about that. So the virtual numbers. So what's the benefit of a restaurant? Because you got to remember we're sending this on behalf of the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
What's the benefit of a restaurant having a virtual number?
Yeah, so I guess to compare in terms of functionality, we've got the virtual number, which is dedicated specifically to the store, or we have got this shared option, which you won't see it, but basically they receive it like it's coming from a mobile number. So the benefits of having these dedicated, the benefits of using this form, which is not an alphanumeric, the benefits of using this is you get those email responses. You can do a couple of other things, they're pretty cool, but the difference between these two virtual options The reply numbers, basically in our system, we've got 20 to 40 different numbers that we let anyone use. So if you guys might be sending messages off it, but then the butcher down the road who's using our system is also sending messages off it. So they change every time you send a message, they change. So, you know, Green Hill, someone might get every week, they might get a message from Green Hill, but every week it comes from a different number. So a store might want to have one number and they've got all their promotions in one row. They know that this is the Green Hill number, and they know that if they respond and go, hey, where's my order? It's going to go into the Green Hill inbox. Whereas
how does that work? How does that work? Let's say, for example, they have a virtual number and they reply to it. Where does that number go to? Where's the number going to?
Yeah, so the number, if you have a dedicated number, so I've given you guys, I don't know which that one is, I've given you this new dedicated number. So if you were, for example, Steve, feel free to text in here. I'll text into that number right now.
Okay. If you send that to, well, where's that going to? Like,
Where's that number's connected directly to your account. So it goes to the carriers. The carriers send that message to us because they know that we're leasing that number on your behalf.
yeah.
They send it in a specific format that's configured into Burst SMS so we can identify what the content of the message is, what the sender ID is, who it came from, and then we plug that back into your account. So just as a sample, I'm going to quickly, to make it easy for myself. 4, 4, 3, 1.
Oh, are you sending it to your mobile?
I'm going to send myself a test and then I'm going to reply back to it so then you can see what that looks like. So if I go send now, which by the way, what I've just done, guys, is I've just used that quick SMS option. So if you want to just send a quick SMS and you've got your clients ask you, hey, can you respond to this person for whatever reason? You just click quick SMS, pop in the recipient mobile, and you can just type away and press send. You don't have to go through a whole campaign. All right. So,
San, we don't really like, basically, and correct me if I'm wrong here, San, but basically our service is that we're just sending out SMSs for them. We don't really offer anything outside of that. Is that right, San?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So it's really simple for us, Amelia. We send an SMS on behalf of the restaurant, and we don't really monitor replies or anything like that. Or callbacks or anything like, we just keep it really, really simple.
Yeah, and I guess like that's why I guess using the alphanumerics, like I said, having that name on top of it for the sender ID is really, really popular because you're right. If you have to monitor responses, it's taking a lot more management. But on the other hand, if you've got a client that go, I really want to run a Valentine's Day promotion, I want to try to grow my database, what are the options that I have? It is probably beneficial to understand what you can and can't do to support them. So in terms of where you're going to find these messages, in your activity page, you're going to find the outbox where you're going to have a record of all your messages or your campaigns that have gone out. And then if you want to, like, unlikely that you'll have many in the accounts, but you change that to inbox and you can see that's my number. I sent a message saying responses, and it's a response to a test SMS.
Okay.
Oh, the quick SMS. So anyway, that's where it's all going to sit in there. Whilst I'm here, I'll show you, Steve, this is another element of a potential growth in terms of your margins per sale. So we have those dedicated numbers. With the dedicated numbers, you've also got the keywords as well. So just as a sample.
Just what I just want to pick up on what Amelia said there. So guys, when we're looking at increasing revenue, in the business, one way that we can do that is by providing those virtual numbers, because we charge for those virtual numbers. And this is another way, keywords.
Yeah. And as Steve said, the clients, they're not cheap numbers, I guess. I think, Steve, we've given them to you at $19 already, $19. And as a standard, they're 25, so it's $6 a month. I mean, if you get clients, like 25 clients with it, and you've got 25 numbers, we could probably look at reducing it so you increase your margin. But they're roughly, as a standard pricing across the industry, they're roughly about $25 a month. So, but some of the benefits as well is, like, you've got this option for keywords. So as I said, let's do, let's say Green Hill want to do a campaign for GH tie. I'm just going to do this as a test. You've got a whole bunch of options. Let's go. Thanks. Oops. Okay. All right. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm using that number I just sent a message to. And what would typically happen is they would run a promotion for 2 months, maybe on the front of their store that says text GH Thai to this number and receive a 10% coupon code. Or, thanks for registering into the competition we have. So it might be on the front desk at the store. They might post it on their Instagram page. But what they're essentially trying to do is organically grow their database that they send these messages out to. So what I will do now is let's just pretend that I saw this at one of the shop fronts. So I'm just going to grab my mobile. I'm going to text in GH. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to just show you how we can capture it. I want to make a specific list for this competition because I want to know who exactly entered. So I'm going to do keyword test. All right, so I'm going to text GH Thai. Awesome. So I have already received that automatic response. It said, thanks so much for subscribing, or thanks so much for entering the competition. Please respond with your email or something like whatever you want. You can automate that message. And you can see here, I've got thanks so much for subscribing automatically sent out to myself. And if I now go to the contacts page, I've got a special list, which is going to be everyone who subscribed. And then maybe at the end of the month where they're drawing that $50 voucher or $100 voucher, they just send a message to everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. The winners are X, Y, and Z. So you just get a little bit more engagement from those regular customers that are coming in and things like that. So this thing, keywords, you can charge per keyword. Or that's if they don't have a dedicated number, I recommend charging them per keyword. It can be $20 a month or something like that. And it's completely free for you guys because you can set it up on the account using that. Or I'll show you where you can do that as well.
Yeah, how do they do that? How do they charge for a keyword?
Yeah, so I'm going to jump into one of the random accounts here. You can see we've got a keywords available, the keyword price, and the keyword limit. So for example, I know that they only want to purchase one. I could put one so they can only have one keyword, and I want to charge them $20. So if they go into that keyword section and they add it, you'll charge them $20. So you can set this per account. I don't want to save this because this is an actual client. I can put together some guides as to how you'd like to do it. But essentially that's sort of what a keyword is. Great for campaigns and competitions and stuff like that. And they don't have to have a dedicated number. You'd basically share the number from your account and go, okay, this is the number that you need to print, and you can send them lists and stuff like that. So
as an account manager looking after the marketing for our clients, this would be a good way to be a little bit creative. Would you say that? Would you say that, Amelia?
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Say for example, guys, in Australia we have State of Origin, which is a footy game, and it's quite big. You know, you could use State of Origin as a keyword, and use something like that. I know you guys are in Thailand and don't know what that is, but if you understand the marketplace, you'll understand how big State of Origin is, and we can use those as a possible marketing initiative.
Yeah, I think we've also, if you have a look, I think I've sent these over at some point as well, but if you save this link, it's very effective. We have a whole marketing team that always consistently work on improving some of the articles on here. So for example, as I was talking about before, alphanumerics, if you want to read up on what an alphanumeric is, we've got some beautiful blogs that show you like what are the benefits of using an alphanumeric. Here are some samples of what that looks like, limitations of it. So basically just spend some time maybe every morning, grab an article, have a read of it. But some things as well, if I'm just going to go, let's go the keywords.
While you're looking for the keywords, Amelia, I noticed somebody's wanting to ask a question. And I just want to get some clarity around the time. San, how long do we have for this training meeting? I'm just mindful of the guys.
Normally we finish our meeting at 8, but for today 8:30 is good. I worry about Manal that she work at night shift.
Yeah, sorry, man.
I'm still here.
Hanging in there. Well, I'll try to make it quick, but I guess basically have a look in there. Any additional questions that you have about any of the features. I think there's some templates as well for keyword campaigns specific to your industry. They're all located somewhere. Yeah, look, there's a couple.
Amelia, I have to pop into another meeting now, so I'm going to leave you with San.
Yep.
But thank you, and I'll speak to you later on, and I'll watch the remainder of this video once it comes through to me. But any of these types of links, if you can just send them through to San at localforyou.com, she'll give you her email address, and then she can share them with the team. That would be great.
Yeah, awesome. No, I think that would be the easiest. I could go through them in detail, but it's you guys can take your time to go through it. It's a lot of information.
Yeah, that'll be great. Hey, thanks, Amelia. I'll speak to you later.
No worries.
Bye,
Steve. Chat
everybody.
soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, I try not to keep you guys for too much longer. But one of the other things I was speaking to Steve about, and it is an option for your business. I don't know whether it's going to be effective, because another option that we have is MMSs.
Oh,
So yeah, so basically it's like pretty much identical to obviously an SMS, except for the fact that you get to add an image and you've got a few differences like a subject line and stuff like that. So I don't know. I won't send that, but basically you have to have a specifically configured MMS number. So they're a bit separate. So if you ever have a client that has an interest in it, come speak to me first and I can get it set up properly on the account. Because there are some product limitations that I have to action at this point, but that's all good. So one of the differences you'll find is, unlike with SMS where you can change that to, for example, the alphanumeric, those words, you can't do it on an MMS. The only thing that you can do is include something on this subject line. So again, where you would put green heel tie, you can put it here, or you can even go special. You've got more characters in this section and it pops up above the image. I'm going to just grab a sample. Sorry guys.
Yeah.
Wasn't that one? So you can just grab a particular type of image file and type. We support most of them. This is a moving GIF. So really cool, appears really, really nicely on the phone, and great for promotions and stuff like that. But you can just put still images. I like these. I think these are the most effective ones because they automatically play on most phones and they loop. Unlike an MP4, like a video, you have to press play, it has to download. This one just automatically plays. So all the same sort of concept, you just type your message out. You can use first name. The difference here is with an SMS, if you were to use like the pizza emoji, it takes your SMS from 160 characters down to 70. So it can make your SMS campaign almost double or triple in price because of how long the SMS is. So that's all to do with that emoji. Because we're already sending an image, and the way that our system, the way that local carriers support SMS, we've already basically changed that coding. So you don't really have any limitation in here. You can use as many emojis as you want. You've got up to 1,000 characters. So maybe if you want to do a new menu launch and you want to put in some of the new menu items that you've got in, you could maybe put a couple of beautiful pictures together. I'll grab a quick sample from.
Will it charge more money to add the picture?
It is a lot more. So
lot
a standard SMS is like, I think you guys are charging. You guys have got a cost price. Okay. Such a good price. 3.9 plus 2.7, so 5, 6. Right. You guys are charging about 6.6 cents per message. These ones, currently they're about 43 cents inclusive GST. So they're very special events. They're not something that you would substitute your SMS campaigns. Like I said, it would be like a menu launch or like an opening, and you want to try get some local people to try get in, something like that, where you would need something this special. But here is, so I'm just trying to find my samples to show you what some of our clients have been doing. Okay. So my computer sounds like it's about to take off. Okay, so you can have as much as you want in here. And as you can see, because you've got so much room and you can use as many emojis without affecting the price, it's going to be the same price. I like to sort of split it out like this. Very popular for ticketed events as well. So, you know, no under 18, you can't do this, can't do that, because you want to get quite a significant amount of information in it, but you still want it to make it look good. You can do stuff like this, add a track link. So yeah, that's basically MMS. If you need help sending any of them, let me know. But you can, it's hard for you guys to play around with some of the features because obviously MMS, for example, is only available in Australia, and sending to Thailand requires a sender ID registration. So you can't actually test any of these to your phone, unfortunately. But if you ever want to send some tests, feel free to send them to my mobile. I can take a screenshot and I can email it back to you guys. So yeah, that is basically MMS. So at least you know it's available for you guys. And again, really easy. Jump onto here. You can have a look, and there's heaps of articles about, you know, how to send MMS as well. Is there anything else? I know we skipped through the majority of sort of like the send SMS features and things like that. Because again, I could break it down and go into each one of those in a lot of detail, but is there anything else that you guys were particularly burning to ask me?
I still have question with the keyword, like how different between send SMS and keyword.
Yeah, okay. So a keyword is basically, it's triggered because of a specific word to a specific number. So when you send it out, you can send, for example, if I was to send out a blast, so you've again, Green Hill Thai, and they're running a promotion like, hey, you know, here's our promotions on the fish. If you want to sign up to VIP specials, please respond to this message with VIP. So you're almost telling them, and all they have to do is reply VIP. You create a list. So again, you just go into your keywords, create VIP, and then it would do the same thing. You could have a separate list. Every time someone messages VIP, grabs their mobile number, chucks them into the special list. You've now got a VIP list. So in terms of keywords is digesting inbound messages. A campaign is sending outbound. So I think I'll have a look into it. What we can do is it might be, if they don't want the dedicated number, maybe you create your clients here and you charge. Yeah, I'll have to think about how you'll charge. I'll get back to you on what that looks like if your clients are interested in terms of charging via the main platform. Is there anything else on the keywords?
I think I'm good for now.
Yeah, I'll send you, there's heaps of support articles as well. So we've got, this is a really handy space as well. So again, if you go keywords.
Burst SMS.
Here's how you can set them up. And there's a lot more detail, step-by-step, how to manage it. Heaps of options that you can do here. So yeah, I'll send you all these links, Sam, and any questions that you guys have, just let me know. I'm more than happy to help out.
Yeah, I have one question about the unsubscribe link. When the link is shown on the phone for the client, is pretty long and look like the scam link. Can we change it?
Look, I think we might actually be shortening it. I guess from our end, we generate those per individual SMS that goes out that uses that. So if you think about all the number of SMSs, we have to have a lot of different combinations for that unsubscribe, which is why it's probably getting bigger. I think we're clearing a whole lot of them, so they should start out a little bit shorter. But in short, the answer is no, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yes, okay. One more question about I see the template option when we want to send the SMS. I never tried before that how we create the template, because normally we send the SMS like the same content every month. How can we create the template?
Yeah, okay. Really, really easy. So basically what I want to do, I just copy and paste it. Be careful when you copy and paste as well. I would probably recommend, what we do is use something, I think it's called like format. Okay, no. I'll send you a link, because when you copy and paste it from, example, a Word document onto the platform, sometimes some of the characters go a bit funny and it can really stuff up your SMS. So we always recommend clearing all the formatting before putting it in here or typing it directly into this platform straight away. So try avoid copy and pasting, but basically this is my template.
Normally you suggest us to add the first name, the first, how we call the first name code.
Yeah,
every time we send out, it's more close with the client or more effective when we send out the SMS?
Yeah, look, it's completely up to you. So it's up to the cleanliness of the database. So basically, if you know that your restaurant, they've been very, very accurate at getting those first names, then please feel free to use it. It is nice to receive a message like, hey, Amelia, this is the specials on we've got this week. But what's really bad is if it's like, hey, John, and I'm like, well, I'm Amelia. So they've obviously stuffed this up.
Yeah.
So it's safer to exclude high first name unless you know your data is really good. But yes, so, and for this as well, so I've just typed out my template. All I need to do is press save and it should ask me to name it. So just make sure you name it correctly. So I'll just go template 1 sample. And then if I refresh this page and oops, let's go templates.
Yeah, that's cool. So for example, I saved the template for the Green Hill. So the Thai East restaurant cannot see the template.
Yeah, that's correct. Unfortunately, each template is only per account.
Okay.
We don't have the ability to share templates. What I'd probably recommend doing is maybe have a PDF file or something that's very like where you can just copy and paste it. And when you create an account, maybe you just add a couple of them. You add like maybe the same 3 samples if they're a Thai restaurant and use the same ones for the Thai restaurant. Copy the 3 most common Thai restaurant samples and yeah, just keep adding them in. Because yeah, we can't share them, unfortunately.
Okay. The last question is, how can we track the link? Because in every single SMS that we send out, we attach the link for the order. So right now we cannot, we don't know that how many people click on the link that we send out. How can we do that?
Yeah. So if you want to read your, oh, sorry.
Sorry. So, and if we want to track the link, is charge more or for free?
Free.
Okay.
Yeah, for free. So I'm just gonna grab this link. So you'll notice, and I'll have to jump off very shortly. I've got one of my colleagues waving me down outside. But if you want to track the link, basically what we can do is you'll see this add track link feature in each of the accounts. So what you want to do is define a new URL and you pop in the ordering number. Let's pretend that's an ordering URL, press activate. And you'll see this is what it looks like. Tap this /, and then the rest of these digits again are very unique per recipient. So once you send that campaign, every recipient's going to get a different one. And then when you get to the reporting.
So the link is not going to be like the actual link, like the restaurant name or something.
Unless the restaurant wants to configure it directly to their account through their own website, you can't easily change it. So it would basically be, it's always going to be this, tap this. That's our generic one that we use. I don't know whether or not John wants to change it to local for you. There is a way that we can make that local for you /, but to get it for each individual restaurant is a lot of work per restaurant. And most of the time they might not be able to configure it to their website because that's where we've got it connected to.
Okay.
So this is just a generic, easy one that like a lot of our clients use.
Okay, please continue.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much it. If I go back to this campaign, for example, this report, you'll see you'll have link hits. So it will have a list of all the recipients, how many times they've clicked and things like that. So sorry guys. But yeah, that's where these will hit, they'll go. And you can do those ones who haven't clicked it or those who have, and they should list there.
Okay.
Is there anything else?
I
think they're probably the features that you're going to use the most.
Okay, I got one question. For example, like Gin Thai Green Hills, like this restaurant got about 2,000 customers in the database, and if we would like to like send only 500 SMS to 500 customers in that list. Can we do like a segment inside that list?
No, unfortunately, you would have to export that list, like grab 500 of them, and then you'd have to upload it and say like 500. Yeah, we're not like a CRM management system. We literally just do the uploading and downloading of lists. So you would have to create a new contact list.
Okay, I see. Thank you. I think I have one more question.
That's all right. No, go ahead.
I don't know why when we do the draft, when we try to do the SMS draft.
Sorry, guys, one second.
Yeah.
About 45 minutes. Oh no, it won't be that much longer. Okay. Just 10 minutes. Okay. Sorry, guys.
Okay. When I do the SMS draft, there will be like a taste, like it can send to our number, right? Could you please to do the draft, to do the SMS draft? Yeah, and there will be like the taste button. But I try to send to my number, and it's never work. I don't know why.
Yeah, is that your Thai number?
Yes.
Yeah, so in Thailand, unfortunately, if you want to send a message to Thailand, you have to register a sender ID. So unlike Australia, where we can just grab numbers, Thailand's very strict and it does take some time. And unfortunately, in Thailand, you don't get these numbers. It has to be from, GH Thai. For example, we have to register with the carriers in Thailand before they let us send that. So.
I see. Okay.
That's probably why it might be worth getting Steve to set you up. No, actually that won't work. It will not look. That's why if you want to send any test messages, just send me an email, go, hey, we're going to send a couple of tests, and I can just screenshot them and I can send them over to you guys so you can see what that looks like on the phone.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna have to jump off at this point. I've been saying this room for a little bit too long, but San, I will send you over my contact details and a couple of the links, and then any questions, let me know, guys.
Okay, thank you so much, Emilia.
You're very, very welcome. Lovely to meet you guys, and I'm sure we'll speak soon.
Thank you so much.
No worries, bye.
Nice to meet you. Have a nice day.
Have a good one.
มีหน้าจะค้างหรือเปล่ามีใครค้างหรือเปล่า
เขาค้างหมายถึงเรากันเองไหมคะ
แต่เขาค้าง
เขาค้าง
อืม